So good morning everybody. Today I'll present you the topic of my final paper, which is young adult dystopian novels with a specific focus on the role and image of female protagonists in them. And given the growing popularity, both through novels and movies adaptation of this genre, I wanted to analyze a bit more into detail the reason of their success, especially among teenagers. And I've chosen 3 dystopian novels for this, and they're The Hunger Games by Susan Collins, Divergent by Veronica Roth, and Delirium by Lauren Oliver. And the reason I chose this novel is because they're dear to me, and also because they fit to the female protagonist genre of dystopias. And first of all, what is dystopia? It's generally opposed to the idyllic world of utopia, but dystopias present a darker vision of the future, and they focus on the negative aspects of society, like mass poverty, oppression, corruption, public mistrust. And it's usually the task of the hero to enlighten the population about the current situation and usually lead to a revolution, a rebellion, or somehow a change in the world as it is. And I argue that all dystopian novels have a trend of critiquing the existing social norms and systems. In fact, by presenting the worst that might come to pass in the future, they somehow encourage people to act in the present, and in order to avoid these catastrophes or this oppression. It's somehow a sort of moral lesson for today's society. And so why do they appeal to young adults in particular? I think some argue that it's more of a trend that has been inspired by the success of Hollywood blockbuster movies, and I think that yes, to some extent it's true, but it can't be just that. And what I found out is that I believe that this sense of being powerless and oppressed by society that most of this dystopia portray in the stories, it's kind of shared by the adolescent public. They go through the same kind of feeling oppressed and feeling like they want to say something to society. And I think this is what allows the readers to better relate to the stories. And moreover, the protagonists of dystopias are never really superheroes. They share, with the adolescent audience, they share the same feelings of being anxiety and problems. That include friendship, loss, betrayal, love. So they don't really just talk about world problems. They also allow a sort of self-discovery. So the teenager, along with the protagonist of these stories, learn about themselves as well. So not just issues that are far, far away, but also something personal. And of course, another reason for the appeal of dystopia's novel is also the movie adaptation, because that makes it easier for the readers to connect to the protagonists of this story. I went through different dystopian elements that I found in all 3 novels. I'm not going to go through them all because it will take way too long. I'll just mention them, and all 3 novels have them, but with different connotations. And these are uniformity and utopia illusion, constant surveillance and censorship, distrust and banishment of natural world, and detachment from reality. So they all have them, but with different aspects. What I wanted to focus a bit more on is the role of female protagonists. As I mentioned before, all of them have a heroine as a main character, and so while dealing with dystopian themes, they also present and redefine somehow the image of the adolescent womanhood, and not just the image of the woman, but also the role in the society, and also the impact they might have on future generations. All these women are depicted as strong, as capable of leading rebellions and revolutions, but I think the fact that links them to the audience is that they're also vulnerable. So they're never superheroes. They all have the same moments of doubts and hopelessness that can connect them to the younger readers. But the silver lining is that they have the strength within themselves, so they always somehow find the strength to stand up and face these doubts and hopeless moments. And somehow they go through the same personal, physical, and behavioral change which are typical of teenagehood, and that's what links them to the readers. And of course, even though most teenagers don't really find themselves in the front row of a revolution, they can still, we can still see this rebellion as a sort of parallel to coming of age, to becoming adults. So they find their voice and kind of start questioning the society. So to conclude, by merging through novels and movies in this dystopian realities, teenager can kind of better understand their role in today's society and in the world. They somehow feel empowered, and I believe that this could help future generations finding their voice in today's world. So, thank you.
Thank you.